About 2 years ago, I asked you guys to make a Pokemon region with 200 plus Fakemon, promising I'd develop a Pokemon game with all your guys' Fakemon and ideas in it. And make sure you watch till the end, because this Pokemon game is easily my most impressive project yet. At first, I expected this project to mainly be a meme, but I didn't expect the extent that Pokemon fans would go to make a truly amazing game that we've all been craving. So before we get into showing off these amazing Pokemon designs, I just want to say that if you want to join us in creating this project known as Chat Makes a Pokemon Fan Game or Pokemon Potassium, hit that subscribe button to tune into our CMG streams and join the Discord. With that being said, let's move on to what you guys are really waiting for, the starters of Benerica. Now, it's important to note that the professor that gives you these starters didn't really want to be a professor much, but he took up the job to be able to save money to start his own restaurant that he's always dreamed of called Donamon's. The first line we have is Burpiter, a pure grass-type Pokemon. Burpiter and its evolutions were designed by Dekachad, who was one of our only designers at the time that we started this project nearly 2 years ago. Burpiter appears to be based on a small spider that has crawled, eaten, or found its way into the leaves and salad that can be found in burgers. Perhaps it's a nod to how sometimes food from abroad can be sometimes contaminated with critters from in that area. The evolution line specifically takes inspiration from veggie burgers. Its next evolution is Veguar, which then evolves into Burfly, a grass and flying type. This entire Pokemon line serves the purpose of providing burgers, cheese, tomatoes, and lettuce to its friends. Everything that you would find on a burger. The burger that grows on their backs are actually natural veggie burgers, and the cheese is just edible mold. Eating the food these Pokemon provide does not harm the Pokemon whatsoever. Burfly has a lot of weaknesses, so to balance out our starter trio, there's specific cheeses that you can have Burfly hold to gain a resistance to one of its many weaknesses, such as the ice type. You can actually get these at the cheese truck in the capital of our region, Kenton, BC, which we just finished. That does it for the grass starters, so let's move on to the fire starter, Friar. Friar may look like a fry, but it's actually closer to a rock than a fry. It takes some design inspiration from a torch, and as it evolves, it grows some buddies. And it also gets this little thing that it can spin on. Friar is always hot and constantly sweats, but when it sweats, it also sweats salt. It uses this salt to its advantage when it evolves into the fire and rock type Franch, as it can spin around at high RPMs and launch salt in all directions. Its final evolution is a huge upgrade, being Frybros with a cowboy theme going on. Now, Frybros has some salt and fire cannons that might vaguely resemble a double, but wait, this is a Pokemon. They're just cannons. Yeah. They're just cannons. If Blastoise can do it, so can we. Last but definitely not least, we have Whip Splash, a giraffe, dog, cat, poodle, I don't know. Its neck is super thin but flexible. Whip Splash is based on a drink that you'd find at restaurants, but with an adorable twist on it. It can share the water in its cup with its friends. It evolves into Split Cup, which then evolves into Sprit Splash, the much more carbonated drink. Sprit Splash breathes out through its body, which carbonates the drink with carbon dioxide. Sprit Splash drink is actually a lot more sugary, which is where it gets the pink from. And it's also a fairy type, because a living drink seems like something from a fairy tale. So tell me, which starter are you going to choose during your journey through Benerica? Let me know in the comments. Now let's move on to our decks. Whiskrat, Odorant, and Kingrat, normal and poison type rodents. These critters are blind, so they find their way around with smell. When an Odorant gets chosen as a leader, Odorant evolves into Kingrat, gaining sight, which gives it a fascination for shiny things. As a result, Odorant smell out these shiny things and give them to their Kingrat leader. These guys were created by Marvelous Relic, Kiwiki, Kiwalker, and Roki Runner. Taking inspiration from the kiwi bird, peacocks, and maybe a bit of ostrich, these birds lay eggs that taste like kiwis. Now we got Bugger Punch, Picoon, and Darkfly. Wow. So creative. Yay to these names. These guys take inspiration from gangs, with Darkfly having a bit of a Grim Reaper inspiration. These guys were actually designed by me. This is the only Fakemon that I've made for this game. It is Chat Makes a Fan Game, not Tasty Makes a Pokemon Fan Game. So I only have one mon in the game. It's these guys, but Toasty was actually the one who designed the final evolution. Lino redid Bugger Punch, and Adjacent redid Picoon. Kittendo and Cheeto, Cookie Cats. Cheeto is the fastest Pokemon in our region, and both like to share the chocolate chips on them with their friends. They are both pure fairy types. Turtle and Cordis, the cornbread Pokemon. Cordis lay their eggs in the ground, then out comes a Curdle. Being a grass and ground type, I've spent like 20 minutes trying to find out what the name of the plant is that they're based on, and I can't for the life of me find it. But there's this plant, right? And it's not corn. It's not corn. I know you think it's corn, but the idea with their evolution, it's like this tall plant that looks like a flower, and then when you break it, the shell's open and all the seeds in it expand like crazy. Like, it's like this big, right? And then there's videos out there, people taking bites of it, and they'll bite it, and then their mouth like just fills with these seeds, and it just like coming out. I don't know, okay? Well, Colonel and Cortis take some inspiration from those, along with obviously corn, tortoises, and cornbread. Peeprab, Peeprabber, and Palapus. This Pokemon seems to be based on some kind of crab or insect hiding inside of a pea pod. Palapus has grown one claw to be a massive shield with 4 pea pods acting as legs. Alongside its name with the whole palace kind of thing going on, it gives off strong regal vibes, as if it's based on some kind of king crab. This one actually plays super well in game, taking good use of that water and grass typing. These guys were created by Hubster. Cremido and Yakunuts. The criminal pastry Pokemon rocks the pure dark typing, and obviously it looks like a donut. Yakunut even has the ace donut hole. These guys are some of my favorite to use in test runs. Yakunut getting Prankster Will-O-Wisp is just too useful. These guys were created by the Green Flareon. Sandbrew and Bruslash are first regional variants in Banerica. Both Sandbrew and Bruslash can melt on command. They're clearly based on coffee, with Bruslash having a big coffee bean on its back. Bruslash being a water ground type but a physical attacker means that while it can fire off water moves, it's mainly there for defensive typing. It also gets Flame Body as its ability. Fleech and Fleabat are the bats of our region, created by Marvelous Relic again. They resemble bats that are infested with fleas. It's a unique take on the flying bug type. And let me tell you, I did not expect the flying bug type to be as good as Fleabat in this Pokemon game. Its signature ability is Infested, which can cause infestation on contact. The only downside is if Fleabat moves last and Infested activates, it won't get to use the actual move that it chose. Fleabat is always an amazing pick when playing through Pokemon Potassium. Granix, Onix, and Obsolix. This one has a bit to do with the lore of our game, but this is a sort of early regional variant, as in like, it's a regional variant, but it hasn't quite evolved to be much different yet, besides obviously Obsolix, its evolution. Onix and Granix keep the same typing, but Onix gets a buff while Granix is a bit more like Cantonian Onix in stats. Obsolix is the real deal here, as instead of getting all slow like Steelix, it takes from Onix's high speed stat and becomes a pure rock type physical sweeper. Cantonian Onix became Banerican Onix by consuming large amounts of Banerium in the soil of southern Banerica. Obsolix was created by Bacon Ultimate. Taraki and Fetroll are poison fighting type tofu fighters in Pokemon Potassium. Let me tell you, the grind to getting the weak Taraki up to level 30 is so worth it. Fetroll is rocking high base stats, great defensive typing for an in-game playthrough, and looks so cool. These guys were created by Hubster as well. The Paluto Wudo line and the Gredtank line are opposites, created by Sussy Chungus Among Us. The grass poison type Paluto Wudo line focuses on polluting the environment, while Gredtank is cleaning the environment. Guttank and Gredtank was invented by Dr. Doofus, the second gym leader's brother. It was invented to help clean cities and fight Paluto Wudo. Mushboom, Kashroom, and Catashroom are based off, well, you can kind of see what they're based on. They're based on Boom. Created by Amenimus, these pure fire-type mushrooms are slow, bulky, and they go boom. Hell yeah! Warroach, Corance, and Roachrath are bug and dragon types created by Maxter420. Yeah. This is one of my favorite lines because it alludes to how hard roaches are to get rid of. So much that they can feel invincible, like dragons. Jeepalus and Nautawheel were created by Lino. Based on Nautilus and a car, maybe a slight nod to Roly-Polies as well because they are bug and steel type. Jeepalus and Nautawheel have the same base stats, however Jeepalus gets slow start and Nautawheel gets speed boost. Emolusk and Gothink were created by Spunkton. This dark fairy type is based on goth and emo culture. They get the ability Interference, which acts as hustle but for special moves. Also, these guys are OP because dark and fairy are both special in our game. Yeah, they're great. Outrin and Actrogwin were created by Mori GD. His goal when making these birds for the third gym leader vote, or the third gym Fakemon vote, I guess, was to make a Pokemon that looks like it'd be this type, but it's actually a different type. They're flying in dark birds, despite the cactus on their head and the feathers that mimic leaves. They hang around the Benarican desert, stealing and picking on wanderers. Unimagined is an evolution to Unknown by knowing the move's secret power. Unimagined has 3 forms: the consonant form, the vowel form, and the symbol form. They learn tons of moves with the word power in it, like stored power and cosmic power, you know, anything that you can think of that has the word power in it besides very specific moves. Yes, it learns it. Like, it doesn't get power up punch. The fuck Unimagined gonna grow a fist? All 3 forms have different stats, with the consonant being defensive, the vowel being attack based, and the symbol having high speed and HP. Next up, we have Luxure from Gazerora. The lucky Pokemon, or the lucky block Pokemon, has a couple tricks up its sleeve. First, it has the ability Rotten Roulette, which can either heal or damage the opponent on contact. It also gets the dark type magnitude called Chance Attack and a dark type bullet seed called Dice Roll. Good luck fighting this one. The Skarmory and Tropius line are counterparts in our game, with Tropius being based on natural native culture and Skarmory being based on domestic Benarican culture. Peace versus war kind of thing. But we gave both of these guys a pre-evolution and an evolution. With Bontropic and Skarmageddon, they both get the dragon type instead of the flying type. But don't worry, there is no Eviolite in our region. Eviolite Skarmory cannot hurt you. A shiny Bontropic is also President G Golden's signature Pokemon. It walks around with him, protecting him at all times. We actually just did the president vote not too long ago, because the president just kind of now got introduced into the game story. We still have a lot more characters to introduce, so if you want to be a gym leader or a future important character, make sure you submit to the forums. Octalion and Octomartian are psychic-type alien mech Pokemon created by Todd the Toad. It takes a while to evolve an Octalion, but once you do, this thing is unstoppable. Last but not least in today's video, we have Rollover and Barktick. These Pokemon were created by Redhead Bebs and Shepsky Dad on YouTube. Huge shout out to Shepsky Dad for bringing light to our project multiple times. If you haven't, go check out his content. These Isonormal types are fast sweepers on both the special and the physical end. They're obviously based on the goodest of boys when it comes to dog breed, Huskies. There's so many more Pokemon that you have all created for this Pokemon game. And just for watching to the end, I'll let you in on a secret. The Pokemon Potassium demo that goes up to the 5th gym is out to play right now. Join the Discord and then you can play through a game that we've been working on for 2 years now. If you want to submit Fakemon or characters like gym leaders, vice presidents, and more, subscribe and join the Discord and submit your stuff to the Google Forms we have in there. But yeah, there's a ton more Fakemon that I have not showcased in this, so if you want to check them all out, we do have Pokedexes available in the Discord for you to come and check them all out. With that being said, I'm Tasty Kenner. It's been real. Stay tasty.